Hi everyone, I'm Teacher Mariel and I'm back for another math tutorial. Super na-miss kong gumawa ng mga math tutorials para sa inyo. And sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam, I'm actually uploading my math tutorials on my YouTube channel. Please visit me here. And also on my TikTok account, bisitahin niyo din ako dyan. And syempre dito sa Facebook din, nag-upload din ako ng mga math tutorials natin. And sobrang na-miss ko to. So tara na, simulan na natin to. Okay, so ano nga ba yung pag-uusapan natin for today, for this video? So ngayon, we will be talking about divisibility rules. Okay, alam mo na ba kung ano yung divisibility rules? Bakit ba siya mahalaga? So at the end of this video is matututunan mo kung bakit nga ba mahalaga ang divisibility or divisibility rules. Saan ba to ginagamit? Bakit ba siya efficient? Ano yung mga effectivity na maaari mong makuha when you understand, not just memorize, the divisibility rules. Because in this video is i-discuss ko ang divisibility rules for 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. On the next video, and hindi pa dito sa video na to, no, yung divisibility rules for 7, 8, 9, and 10. So, iisa-isahin muna natin yung 2 hanggang 6 na mga divisibility rules. Okay? And I guess ready ka na. So, pwede kang magsulat ng mga ideas na makukuha mo sa video na to. And also, you really have to listen to this one because this video is for elementary students. Super important to para sa mga elementary students and malalaman nyo kung bakit. Kung ikaw ay isang estudyante na nahihirapan sa long division, so this divisibility rules is for you. Yeah, really, the long division is sometimes hard. It depends on the number that you are going to divide. It also depends on how you understand long division. That's why I am allowing you to learn divisibility rules in this video. So, tuloy-tuloy mo lang tong panoorin. So, ang divisibility rules allowed us to divide numbers even without performing long division. So basically, mas mapapadali yung pagdi-divide natin kapag alam mo na yung divisibility rules. Or kahit isipin mo lang, kahit tingnan mo lang, basta alam mo yung rules, masasagutan mo yan or malalaman mo kung divisible ba. So, ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng divisible or ng divisibility? Kasi kanina ko pang binabanggit yung divisible. So, para sa mga hindi pa nakakaalam, ang divisibility po or ang divisible is an ability of a number to be divided by another number without leftover or without remainder. Okay, ibig sabihin, dinidivide yung isang number ng eksakto lang. Walang matitira, walang remainder and all, just exactly as it is. Okay, so yun yung divisible or divisibility. From the word itself, divide, division, divisible, divisibility. So, they were all related. Okay? So, ang divisibility rules then, it saves our time and effort in solving math problems. Okay? It will also gain you some math skills improvements. Ayan. So, mas magagaling ka or gagaling ka sa mathematics when you know the divisibility rules. Matutulungan din tayo ng divisibility rules in solving some areas of mathematics like factoring, simplifying fractions, or doing a lowest term. Ayan, matutulungan din tayo ng divisibility rules for that. And also finding a prime number. So, yan yung mga pwede nating paggamitan ng divisibility rules bukod sa magagamit natin ito in division or in dividing bigger numbers. Yeah, just like that, okay? Just like whenever you are trying to like solve for a larger numbers or divide larger numbers, so this divisibility rules is really important. So right now, we'll be starting the divisibility rules for 2. Okay? So ano po yung divisibility rules for 2? So ano po yung rule para malaman natin kung ang number ay divisible by 2 or madi-divide ni 2 ng walang remainder? So, if it ends with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 0, 2, 4, 6, and 8, then the number is divisible by 2. Basically, divisibility rules for 2 is the easiest one. And super dali lang niya because alam mo naman kasi yung even numbers. Ano po ba yung even numbers? Ang even numbers are numbers that can be divided by 2 or can be half. Okay? Can be divided into half. That's what I mean. So, kung ang number daw ay nagtatapos sa 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then that number is divisible by 2 even without you or knowing or performing long division just to know. Okay? So, let's say for example, we have 262. So, 2 is an even number. Therefore, 262 is divisible by 2 or can be divided by 2. So, kahit pa i-calculator niyan, kapag dinivide niyan sa 2, wala yung remainder. So, that's divisible means, right? Also, 356. It is also divisible by 2 because 6 is an even number or yan, yung mga dulo, yung mga end ng number. Basta yan ay 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, then that number is divisible by 2. Also, let's make it a bigger one. Let's say we have 7,230. So, kung aalamin mo kung madi-divide ba to nito, 'di ba kapag hindi mo alam yung rule, so, i-divide mo pa siya kay 2 para malaman nyo or gagamit ka pa ng like long division enable for you to prove na walang remainder. Eh kung alam mo na, okay, this ends with 0, so basically, it's divisible by 2 or it can be divided by 2. That is divisibility rules by 2. Okay, so we're done with divisibility rules of 2. Now, let's proceed to divisibility rules of 3. Okay, just like 2, this one is also easy. Like, madidetermine mo kung yung number ba, even though it's bigger or smaller, is madidivide ni 3. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung rule for divisibility rules of 3? So, a number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So, diba sa 3 natin, or when you proceed on multiplying or multiplication, so mga multiples ng 3, diba we have 3, 6, 9, 12, no? So, kung ang number, or when you add up the numbers, and madi-divide siya ni 3, and you know naman yung mga multiples ng 3 sa multiplication, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, and malalaman mo daw yung mga numbers kung madi-divide ba siya ni 3 kapag pinag-plus-plus mo yung lahat ng digits, and nakakuha ka ng answer that is divisible by 3, then that specific number is divisible by 3. Let's say, for example, we have here 213. Okay? So, sa unang tingin, parang di mo iisipin na madi-divide ba siya ni 3 or hindi. Ano? In this one, if you look into this or if you think of it in a deeper way, so talagang madi-divide mo ito into 3 kasi 21 tsaka 3. Pero at some point, you will know that it's divisible by 3 when you add, because we need to get the sum of all the digits and it's divisible by 3. So, let's add. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 3 is equal to 6. And 6 is a multiple of 3, or 6 is divisible by 3. So, dun ka lang titingin sa, sa 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, yan yung mga gagamitin mo para malaman mo kung divisible by 3 ba yung isang number. Especially kapag malalaki yung numbers, no? So, another example. 957. So, do you really think that this one is divisible by 3? So, pag tiningnan mo, no? So, titingnan natin. Divisible kayo siya kay 3. So, let's see. Again, you will know if the number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits is divisible by 3. So, let's add them all. So, 9 plus 5 is 14. Plus 7 is actually 21. And 21 is a multiple of 3 or divisible by 3. Okay? So, that's 957 and that is divisible by 3. Because pinag-plus-plus natin yung mga digit and we got 21. Alright? So, let's have another example. 613. So, let's see if this one is divisible by 3. So, kung napapansin mo, baka sabihin mo yes because 3 yung dulo. Or baka sabihin mo yes because there's 6 in here. But actually, that's not the way on how we can determine if it's divisible by 3. Again, just add all the numbers because you need to have the sum or all the digits and able for you to determine. So, let's see. 6 plus 1 is 7 plus 3 is 10. So, the sum is 10. So, therefore, 613 is not divisible by 3. For the last example of divisibility rules for 3, so we have 2,355, no? So, paano kung aalamin mo kung ito ba ay may divide ni 3 ng walang remainder? So, again, just get the sum. And kapag nakita nyo na yung sum ay madi-divide ni 3, then that's divisible by 3. So, let's see. 2 plus 3 is 5. Plus 5 is 10. Plus 5 is 15. And 15 is a multiple of 3 or divisible by 3. So, therefore, 2,355 is divisible by 3. And ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay, so for our next divisibility rules, we have divisibility rules of 4. Ayan. So, paano naman daw po natin malalaman kung ang number ay divisible by 4 or madi-divide ni 4 ng walang remainder? So, a number is divisible by 4 if the last two digits form a number that is divisible by 4. So, definitely, iisipin nyo dito yung mga multiples ng 4, like 4, 8, 12, 16. So, kung ang mga numbers na yon ay divisible or ang mga numbers na yon ay nakita nyo sa dalawang, or sa dulo ng number, then this is basically divisible by 4. Let's say, for example, we have 216. The last two digits, so you have to look at the last two digits. So, it's gonna be 1 and 6 here. And it is actually 16 when you combine. So, 1 and 6, when you like a pair, like that. So, 16. So, basically, 16 is a multiple of 4 or divisible by 4. Pwede din natin ilagay dito multiples, or multiples of 4. So, 16 is a multiple of 4 or divisible by 4 or can be divided by 4. So, definitely, 216 is divisible by 4. Okay, so let's have 308. Ayan, and 0 and 8 yan. So, basically, it's 8 lang. And 8 is divisible by 4. So, definitely, 308 can be divided by 4. Another is 936. And 36 is actually divisible by 4. Or makikita mo yan sa multiplication table or sa multiples of 4. Therefore, 936 is divisible by 4. The next one is 3,220, and 20 is actually divisible by 4 because 20 divided by 4 is 5. So, there's no remainder. So, 3,220 is divisible by 4. And ganun lang kasimple. And also, the last one is 215. So, do you really think that 215 is divisible by 4 or not? It is not divisible by 4 because 15 is not divisible by 4. So, definitely, 215 cannot be divided by 4. Although, it can be divided by 4 pala, but with remainder. Okay, divisibility means madi-divide yung number ng walang remainder. Okay? Okay, for our next one, we have divisibility rules for 5. And just like divisibility rules for 2, this is also one of the easiest divisibility rules. Okay, and I know that marami nang nakakaalam nito and alam mo na rin yan. So, pero, ilalagay ko pa rin para sunod-sunod pa rin yung mga numberings natin. So, a number is divisible by 5 or can be divided by 5 if it ends with 0 or 5. Basta nagtatapos siya sa 0 or yung pinaka-last digit niya ay 0 or 5, then that's basically can be divided by 5 without remainder again. So, we have 200 which ends with 0, 305 which ends with 5, and 1,255 which ends with 5 as well. So, therefore, all of this number is divisible by 5. Let's say we have 2,713. Is this divisible by 5 or not? Basically, not. Because 3, or it ends with 3, it should be ends with 0 or 5 so that we can tell that the number is divisible by 5. And ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay, so for the last divisibility rules in this video, we have divisibility rules for 6 or divisibility rules of 6. So we can tell that a number or even its small or big numbers is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by both 2 and 3. So, definitely, dapat ay nalaman nyo na yung divisibility rules of 2 and 3 kanina sa mga previous discussions natin because kailangan mo siyang i-determine dito both, enable for you to determine if it's divisible by 6. So, let's have a number here. 78. 78. Okay. 78 is actually divisible by 2, check. But, hindi pa natin masasabi kung divisible siya kay 6 because kailangan pa natin i-confirm if si 78 ba ay divisible by 3. Okay? So, again, paano malalaman kung ang number divisible by 3? You have to add. And then, kung yung sum niya ay multiples of 3, then it's divisible by 3. Or divisible by 3, ang kanyang sum. Multiples or divisible by 3. So, 7 plus 8 is definitely 15. So, this is also divisible by 3. So, therefore, this is divisible by 6. Okay? Ganun lang kasimple. Another one. We have 252, which ends with an even number 2. So, therefore, it is divisible by 2. Another. If it's divisible by 3, then let's check so that we can tell if it's divisible by 6. So, 2 plus 5 is 7. Plus 2 is 9. 7, 8, 9. So, 9 is a multiple of 3 or divisible by 3. So, therefore, this is divisible by 3. And since parehas silang may check, so this is divisible by 6 as well. Or can be divided by 6 then, even without remainder. Next, we have 375. So, 375, definitely it ends with 5. And it's not divisible by 2 because 5 is not an even number. Ayan. So, basically, this is divisible by 5. So, ngayon, since this is divisible by 2 or this is not divisible by 2, so definitely, pwede na nating hindi ito i-determine kung divisible ba siya by 3. Kasi, nag-X or nawala na sa, maalin sa dalawa So, kung 2 or 3 man siya. So, hindi na natin siya madi-determine. Although, it's divisible by 3 because 7 plus 3 is 10 plus 5 is 15. It's divisible by 3. So, hindi pa rin siya divisible by 6 because hindi siya naging divisible by 2. Remember, a number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by both 2 and 3. So, kung hindi na kagad siya divisible by 2, di wag nyo na siyang i-check kay 3 kasi automatic naman na hindi siya divisible by 6. Okay? Ganun lang siya kasimple. Okay, so for our last examples for this video, or in this video, we have 114. Let's check if it's divisible by 6. Siyempre, kailangan natin siyang i-check kay 2 and 3. Of course, 4 is an even number, so it's divisible by 2. Add it all, enable for you to look or to determine if it's divisible by 3. So, 1 plus 1 is 2 plus 4 is 6. So, therefore, it's also divisible by 3 because 3 is a multiple, 6, which is the sum of 1 plus 1 and 4 is actually multiples of 3. So, it's divisible by 3. So, basically, it's divisible by 6. And right now, I want you to determine if this 1362 is divisible by 6. Just comment it down below. Okay, so that is all for this video. Thank you so much everyone for watching. And I hope that you learned something from me in this video. And of course, again, this is for elementary students. Pwede din namang high school kung hindi ka pa ganun, hindi mo pa ganun kagamay yung divisibility rules or kung paano mag long division or kung paano mag factor and also the multiples and simplifying. Ito, very makakatulong sa inyo itong divisibility rules na ito. So, if you learn something from this video, please don't hesitate to follow me on TikTok, on my Facebook account, and also on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe para naman syempre updated kayo whenever I upload math tutorials because kakaririn na ulit natin to. Ayan, kasi gusto ko naman talaga to ipagpatuloy. Talaga nga lang super busy ni Teacher Mariel. And maraming salamat sa pagsuporta. Bye and see you on my next video.